Wheels and tires. We will talk about some recommendations and what exactly you need to do about tires, but before anything else, we want to touch on something a little different, and that's the wheels. Most importantly, the extra set it's recommended to have before going to track, because in most cases you will completely destroy a set of tires during a track weekend. The other thing is that you may damage one of your wheels while on the track, and then again, the trip home will become impossible. You will quickly find that having a second set of tires is something you will always praise. That's why a spare assortment of wheels is considered one of the best long-run track day investments you can make. So, now, what should you know about tires? First off, and the most important thing, is the type. Generally, there are three types of tires: road, street tires, semi-slicks, and full slicks. The street tires are the ones you most probably have on your car at the moment. They're perfect for everyday use and for a whole range of different situations which you can find yourself in. They're designed to be a good overall and to be able to perform well on dry tarmac, in the wet, in the mud, and so on. But as you might have already guessed, there's no way street tires excel at everything, and here is when we come to the term performance. Actually, there are a lot of the top tier street tires which have plenty of grip and can perform pretty well on the track too. The thing is, they are going to overheat pretty quickly, and that's the main problem of all street tires. When you start pushing them and driving them on the edge, they'll give you somewhat good performance, but only for a very short period of time. Here is where the term slick comes in. Before we dive in more details, we just need to clarify something else first. Tread wear. What is tread wear? The lower the tread wear as a number, the softer and faster the tire. What difference does it make, you'll ask? When a tire is softer, therefore with a lower tread wear, most of the time it means it will be faster, have more traction and grip, but also it will wear out more quickly as well. Standard street tires can have a various tread wears, with the fastest performance ones going as low as 250. Now is the time to come back to the slick tires. There are a few different types of slicks, but all of them are actually subtypes of the two main ones, and that's what we are going to focus on: semi and full slicks. Semi-slicks are most often referred to as the best compromise and middle ground for track day enthusiasts. They still have a little bit of tread pattern and channels like the street ones, but it's very subtle, just to allow for some water dispersion. This, however, unlike the full slicks, which does not have any kind of tread at all and are completely flat, allows the semi-slicks to actually be street legal. That makes them, in the first place, cheaper, and the second, more suitable for hobby drivers, as they can drive them on their cars every day and get familiar with the tires before going to the track. Also, they are the perfect balance between performance, grip, price, overheating capacity, actually being drivable in the wet, and so on. The tread wear numbers here are going to get lower than the street tires, around 100 to 120 tread wear for the softest of these semi-slicks. And lastly, we come to the holy grail of track tires, the full slicks. As we already clarified, the full slicks are absolutely smooth and flat tires without any tread on it whatsoever. This gives the tire the maximum possible contact patch with the ground, and in combination of being the softest of the bunch with a tread wear below 100 in most cases, the full slicks are the fastest tires you can put on a car. However, there are a few downsides to them as well. The first one is that they don't have any channels in them to disperse water. They're actually very bad in the wet, and we're talking almost undrivable bad. Also, because of that, they're not street legal, and you can drive them only on the track. The second one is that if your car is not specifically prepared for the circuit, mostly meaning having a roll cage, a slick tire can definitely damage the coupe of the car. That's because they have so much traction and grip that they can, in fact, bend and make deformations in the body of the car if it is not reinforced with a roll cage. And the last thing is that, as you may have already guessed, they're the most expensive tires of all. So, our suggestion is that if you plan to go to the track for the first time, just don't feel comfortable with it yet, or don't have a roll cage in your car, just stick with semi-slicks. They're the best choice for now. We wanted to quickly touch on some tire suggestions as well, since you're watching this video because you're planning on going on a track day in the near future. We'll focus mainly on the tires you'll need for there, semi-slicks. We will give you several suggestions in 3 different categories: budget, high-end, and best of both worlds, so you can decide for yourself what to get. The other thing you'll need to remember if you want your tires to be in their optimal state at all times is to regularly check them, see how they're wearing out, track their temperatures, and most importantly, check their pressure before and after every session. In order to do all those things, don't forget to bring along a pressure and a temperature gauge with you. Those 2 things will quickly become your most valued assets. You will find yourself using them the most out of everything you brought along with you. And now, little suggestions what to do with your tire pressure. If you want the optimal performance, you will definitely need to lower your current pressure. The one you're using on a daily basis just won't cut it. If you're driving with your standard road tires, a good starting point will be something around 2.0 to 2.2 bars, 29 to 32 psi. But if you have tires specifically for the circuit, semi-slicks or slicks, you'll want to go even lower, something around 1.7 to 1.9 bars, 25 to 28 psi. All of the above tire pressures are measured when the tires are cold, before the drive. Also, bear in mind that all of these stated values are just a starting point, and even if they're a good one, there is still a slight chance they may not work for you, depending on your tire manufacturer, sizes, and so on. That's why the other important thing is that you check your pressure after every drive as well, when the tires are hot and the pressure is up. The best way to do this is by checking their temperatures first. You'll need to check the outer, inner, and center parts of each tire. Generally, if the center of the tire is hotter than the edges, you'll need to lower the pressure a little bit, and if it's colder than the outer edges, you'll need to bring it up. Try doing this change step by step, no more than 0.1 to 0.2 bars at a time until the whole tire has even temperature all around. Now, when you finally have all the things and basics for your track day, it's time to dive a little deeper, the driving itself. So, stay tuned for the next part.